Hey everybody, Dave here. I hope you're having an awesome day. So, I found this at the thrift store, and I'm gonna try and take this little guy and make a custom droid out of him. So, come on, let's do it. Alright, so here's Bala-Tik from The Force Awakens. Let's open this up. He is new in pack, but I really just want this figure here. So he looks pretty cool. I am going to use this monster, so I will save that. Don't you worry. Okay, the costuming is pretty cool on this. I think it's going to work pretty well for a droid, so I just need to get his head popped off. And I'm just using some hot water, letting it soak in there for about a minute or two. And then we'll just get him out of here, shake him off, and I'm using a paper towel just to make sure I don't burn myself, but it's not hot, so there it goes, popped right off. That's awesome. Nice. Okay, now I have a Gundam model kit, and I'm going to try and use the head from this model kit and use it on the droid, and I think the scale is about the same, so just snipping these out. These model snips are a great investment. I actually got these at Target. I can't remember how much they are off the top of my head. I think anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks, but they are really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together really quick, and we'll take a look at it and see if the scale is going to work for what I need. Now these Bondi kits, they're really nice. They fit together great, no glue needed. I probably will glue this together at the very end just to make sure that it all holds, but this looks pretty great. And yeah, I think the scale is dead on. Now I took it back apart because I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I'm actually going to spray paint these black just so it matches the body more. So here it is, spray painted black. And a lot of people ask me, what spray paint do you use? I am super cheap, so I just go to Home Depot and buy this Rust-Oleum. I'm using the flat black here. And then I went ahead and sprayed the little details silver. I found this spray paint at a yard sale, but it is amazing spray paint. The body has a little bit of a purplish hue to it, so I'm using this flat black, just acrylic paint, and just giving one coat over it just so it has a little bit nicer and darker color to it. And then I found these old headphone cables, and I'm thinking I want some sort of like robotic wiring, like it would be coming from the chest and maybe connecting to the back. And so I'm kind of looking at this and thinking through, and I think what I can do is drill some holes in here. So I'm just going to try this. First off, I'll just snip the wire here. Just cut that headphone off, and then I'm just drilling a hole. I'm using my X-Acto knife to get it started there. And I'm using this pin vise. I purchased this a while ago and I don't really love it, but it kind of got the job done. So I got the front hole there. I think I'm gonna swing it over the other shoulder. I think that looks pretty nice. And then I'll drill a hole in the back here, and I put like a little bit of a twist in the wire just so it gave that a little bit more movement. I'll get this tucked in here, and I think that's gonna look pretty sweet. I apologize for my voice. I am getting over a little head cold or something, so if my voice cracks, it's gonna be okay. Just gluing that in. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of white paint into this, a couple of these little spots here, so it looks like maybe little LED lights or something. And the nice thing is I put the paint in, and then I just took my finger and just wiped that clean, and it gave me a really nice clean paint job. So I'm painting it white first just so I have a nice base, because I'm gonna come back and paint that red after this dries. So we'll let that dry, and now I'm just gonna do a little bit of dry brushing on the head here just so it looks like there's a little bit of wear and tear. And yeah, that's looking pretty cool. This is coming together a little too easy. Sometimes I get scared when something comes together this easy, so fingers crossed. Alright, I'm going to snip this ball joint off because I don't need it. And I was thinking, how am I going to get the head to work on here? So I had this clever idea. I thought, take some polystyrene and I'll peg it. So I'm going to drill a hole in here, and then drill another hole in there, and I should be able to peg it, and the head can swivel back and forth. Okay, so I'm taking my pin vise, and I don't know if I just need to get better drill bits. That pin vise is a real pain in the neck. I have to really muscle it, so but I did get to go through finally. And so I'm going to go ahead and just glue this in here, and we'll slide that little rod back in, and we'll let that dry. And now I'm trying to drill a hole in the head here, but I just can't. It's like I was pushing and it snapped and it drilled sideways, so I don't think this is actually going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this off and think of another plan. I'm sanding that down so it's nice and smooth. And I was looking around in my magnet collection, and I have this little flat magnet and this little cylinder magnet. So this actually kind of worked out perfect. That fit right in that little slot there. So I think if I glue those like that, that might work. I might sand the neck down just a little bit, but right, so I'm just gluing the little cylinder magnet in place. I put the flat disc magnet in there. Now that the cylinder is glued in, I'm going to put a little dab of glue on this, careful not to let it spill over, and then I'll connect that to the neck and let that dry. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We'll give that a couple of minutes to dry. Okay, while the magnets are drying, I am going to add in the little red touch that I was talking about. And again, just wipe that off and you got a nice clean little trench there. I'm taking a little bit of silver metallic and just brushing the gun. I think it makes it look a little bit cooler than just a black piece of plastic. So a couple of quick hits of dry brush and that's looking great. Okay, I think the droid is looking great. So now I'm going to build a little base, and this is actually a top from a seasoning canister, and I used the plastic part for one of my other builds. So I'm just giving this a quick sand down just so the paint will stick to it. I've got a piece of scrap plastic that I just cut out as a circle, and I was thinking I want the diorama to have some angles to it, maybe some negative space, so I'm just going to cut out a little tiny sliver here, and I'll cut out that piece. And when I put these two together and leave a negative space, that should give me a pretty cool little angle. So I'm going to glue this down, and that looks pretty cool. I am going to sand the edge so it's nice and round. Got a little bit of overhang, but that's perfect. Now I'm just scribing kind of a little tile pattern just to give a little bit more interest. And I'm literally just taking a scribe and scratching it in. And then I'm gluing on a little just greebly from the Gundam kit, poking a hole through here. I'm thinking I want to run maybe like a wire or something just to give it some more interest on the base. So I was using the headphone wires, but I think I might switch to the guitar string. And the guitar string has this cool little metal thing on the end. I have no clue what it's called, but let's call it a cool little metal thing. And so I drilled some holes and just dropped them in, and this will give me almost like a connector or fastener for the wires to come through. So just gluing that in, I think that's going to work out pretty nice. So here's the guitar string. I kind of just formed it with my needle nose pliers. It actually bends and holds its shape pretty well, so sliding that in there, and yeah, I think that's gonna look pretty cool. I'm gonna paint it black before I glue this down because I want to kind of keep the metal look of that wire. So I spray painted this black, and then I'm just taking some silver and I'm just gonna touch the edges here just to kind of weather up this platform that he's going to be standing on and just give it some kind of texture to it. So using my knife and just scratching off on the little metal piece there. I actually took some polystyrene and I made some little brackets, and I think it's going to do two things for me. It's going to help hold the wire in place and make it look totally awesome. So I'm going to do some finishing touches and then we'll finish this one up.
Okay, that was an incredibly fun build. In fact, it was really simple, like just using the Gundam head and some magnets and a little action figure body with very few modifications, but it turned out really cool. In fact, this has given me an idea. I think I want to actually attempt making some of my own custom heads and maybe using some existing action figure bodies and make something cool that way. So I don't know. I think there could be some cool things out of this, but let's take some turnaround shots of this. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And as always, it is a great day to be a toy nerd. Have a great one.